Hello everyone and welcome to another video on JavaScript programming. Kaushal this side from SimpliCode, and today we are going to discuss generators in JavaScript. Generators are an easy alternative to iterators in JavaScript. So in this video, we'll see how generators can be used in JavaScript in place of iterators. So before we begin, make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel and press that bell icon to never miss an update from SimpliCode. So without any further delay, let's get started. We used iterators previously, and we know that an iterator is an object that uses a method to return an object with two properties, value and done, right? Now the code was easy, so let's go through it once quickly and then we'll move on to generators. So guys, here's the code for iterators in JavaScript. You can see we have created an object that was giving us two properties, and every time the next function will be called, the next element of the array will be printed until the value of done is false. Now once the done is changed to true, this means that this is the end of the array and there are no more elements present in that same array. Now this was easy, but the method was a little lengthy and we have to be more careful while writing the code for iterators. This code was more prone to errors as well, and we had to loop so many things inside a single function. Quite a tricky task, right? Now guys, what if I tell you that we can do such tasks so easily in JavaScript without giving so much effort and just by writing few lines of code? Yes, we can do it with generators in JavaScript. A generator function allows us to define an iterative algorithm by writing a single non-continuous function. The syntax is also not tricky. All we have to do is to create a function with a asterisk sign and we are good to go. So let's go through the syntax and you'll understand it much better. So we'll move to a JavaScript file and we'll write here function asterisk. Let's say the function name is generate. Fine. And then we have the body of this function. Now this asterisk over here tells the system that this is not a regular function. This is a generator function that has some specific task to do. That is to generate the value on the go. Now inside here of this function, we have to write that part which we want to access. Like if we write here, let's say we are writing here let I is equals to 0. So let's say I is the variable that we'll be using for traversing purpose, and then we'll write here yield BMW. We'll copy this statement and we'll paste it 4 times, let's say, and we'll change the values. So first we have BMW, then we have Audi, third we have Mercedes, and fourth we have, let's say, Honda. Fine. So let's assume that these are the array elements. It means that these are the elements present inside an array. Let's assume it only. Now the yield keyword is used to stop the generator function and it returns the value following it. Think of it as a return that is generator based. It returns the value to the user upon calling the generator function. So let's call it first, and the calling part will remain the same. We'll use a variable to call the generate function and then call the next function in the console. So what we'll do is we'll write here let's say gen is a variable and we'll write here generate. So we'll call this function here and we'll write here console.log. Inside this we'll write gen.next. Fine. Now save it and go to the console. So here's the console and you can see we have an object as output. Click on this object and you can see we have done as false and value as BMW. Now the good thing with generators is that we don't have to specify this next method anywhere in the code. It has the next method predefined that makes the task sort of easy for us, right? Now if we write this statement here again and save it, so what we'll be doing is we'll be copying this particular statement and we'll paste it here, save it, and here you can see we have the value as Audi and done is still false. Now we have Audi here with done as false because this is not the last element present, right? It will return done as false until the values are printed. Once it reaches the end, done will change to true and the value will be undefined. Easy task, right? We have been through it already. Copy it and we'll paste it several times now. Save it. And here you can see we have value as BMW for first, gen.next, then we have Audi, Mercedes, Honda, and finally we have the value as undefined and done is true. It means that Honda was the last element present in the array. Now the next thing is to use it with a loop. If you want to do this task with a loop, we can do it. What we have to do is we have to write here inside this function, we have to create an array over here. So we'll remove these elements and we'll write here where AR is equals to, so let's say this is our array. We'll write here BMW, Audi, fine. This is our array. Now what we'll do is we'll take a loop. Let's say we are using while loop. We'll write here while I is less than AR.length. So this is an array property, and inside this we'll write yield. Yield keyword we have already discussed, and we'll yield AR of I. Fine. And then we'll increment the value of I by 1. We are good to go. So what we'll do is we'll remove this piece of code. Now save it, and you can see we have the first value as BMW and done is false. Now use console.log again here for the second element, which is Audi, and then we'll use it again for Mercedes, and finally if we paste it here again, you can see we have Honda over here, right? So Honda is the last element present in the array. If we do it once again, press enter, save it, and you can see the value is changed to undefined and done is true now. Now we can also write here gen.next.value. So if we write here dot value, the output will be BMW only, of course the value only. So we can do it for each console.log. Save it now, and you can see we have the values here: BMW, Audi, Mercedes, Honda, and undefined. Now we did the same thing with iterators as well. So we concluded that the concept of generators is easy and more reliable than the concept of iterators in JavaScript. Both can do the same task, but generators can do it more easily, right? So that's all for this video, guys. I hope you guys got it. See you in the next one where we will go through maps in JavaScript. If you liked this video, do give it a thumbs up. If you have any doubts, do let us know in the comments below. Share it with your friends and don't forget to subscribe SimpliCode. Thank you.